Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be going through some of the craziest confessions that we can find on the internet, but these ones especially. It's like, why are you even why are you putting this in writing? I got aroused watching a female friend have bad, uncontrollable gas last night. I was with a couple friends last night, and one of them didn't react well to food we ate and kept farting next to me. She couldn't control it, and it kept forcing itself out. We were all laughing, but the truth is, it made me really horny for some reason. For some reason? Dude, we know the reason. You're horny for that toot. I've never been attracted to her before, even though she is attractive, and I don't have a fart fetish, or at least I didn't used to. Bro, you got a fart fetish, baby, okay? This is full-blown, no pun intended, fart fetish. But regardless, her constant farting kept making me feel hot and aroused. Eventually, we all went our separate ways, and I went home and did you-know-what while thinking about her butt and the sounds of her farts. Is it the sounds or the smells? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, the sounds is weird. Because then you'd be like, keep this guy away from orchestras. Like, trumpets or whatever would probably set him off. He's like, oh, it sounded like a little bit like a fart. Kind of like that. I get jerking off to butts. We've all jerked off to butts before, right? Just the air that you're talking about. The post-nut clarity hit me hard. The guilt and the shame almost brought me to tears. That's awesome. What's the shit called when Japanese people like seppuku? Yeah, it sounds like this guy's like have so much shame and he's gonna jump off his balcony or something. Take it easy, bro. It's just a fart. It's just a fart fetish. That's all it is. You like a little toot toot, boodaloo, and that's okay. I take huge dumps, clogging the toilet nearly every time, and my wife is tired of it. I never even really understood that cliche thing of like, oh, I gotta crap so hard that I'm gonna clog the toilet. Because usually like clogging the toilet is a toilet paper thing. It's not a poop thing. Unless you're taking buffalo shits. Unless you're doing that, which I don't know if a human's even cape. I take absolutely massive poops. It's annoying. I gotta plunge the toilet all the time. I'm a big guy, 6'3", 260. I eat healthy, lift weights, and exercise. I eat between 3,500 and 4,000 calories a day and sometimes more. There's your problem. 4,000 calories? Unless you're Michael Phelps and you're in the pool for 10 hours, 4,000 calories. Good Lord. Where do you think all that fiber's going to go? Gotta get it out, dude. You throw a fucking little piece of chia seed in there and it's a wrap for you. You're going to take a shit for 5 hours probably. My wife hates it and I don't know what to do about it. She texted me earlier today. For the record, I don't understand how shit that big comes out of you. Like the width of it just does not compute. Wait, I have a question. She texted you, I don't understand how that big of a shit comes out of you. Does that mean either you're leaving the shit in there for your wife to find, or you're calling her in being like, look at this big, pirate ship of a shit I took. Sometimes I weigh myself before and after, and I swear to the Holy Ghost I've taken 5 or 6 pounder dumps before. That's insane. A 6-pound shit? This guy's giving birth out of it. What happened to your ass? What happens to an asshole that has to take those types of shits? Dude, when you get older, that thing is going to be so tired. And it's just probably going to let everything through the door, honestly. Like a bad bouncer. I fake an accent at my job. This is psychotic. This is psychotic shit. Before I arrived to my interview, a friend of mine dared me to do an interview in a British accent. What the fuck? And you said yes? Like you don't have a job, and then you're going to an interview and fucking around? What the fuck? I said I'd only do it if they paid me, and to my surprise, they sent me the money through Venmo. I went into the interview with the mindset that I wasn't going to get hired, and they inevitably hired me on the spot. Accent and all. I was too nervous to come clean because I had already talked to a bunch of higher-ups with the accent. It's been like 7 months that I've been working there, and I still use the accent to this day. Is there not like a indication of where you would be from on your resume? Like some sort of indication, it's like, oh, you have a British accent, but you went to high school in fucking Indiana? Like, how would they not know that? How do you question? Yeah, I guess that would be confusing. But you went to high school in Indiana? Why the fuck do you sound like that? I mean, I feel like I would ask. Be like, what's going on with your accent? It makes no sense to me, honestly. Judging by the workforce here. You worked at a Panera when you were 15. What happened? Why do you sound like this? Yeah, I mean, I guess the only logical thing to do at this point is to continue what you're doing. You know what I mean? Good for you for having a British accent that's so good that people don't even question it, because I'm not that good at it. I had an orgasm on a theme park ride while holding my sister's boyfriend's hand. Okay, well, don't tell anyone that. I wonder how many people have orgasms on theme park rides. I'm trying to not puke and people are coming? What the fuck? Me, my older sister, and her boyfriend all went to a theme park and rode lots of roller coasters and rides and had a good time. Classic American weekend. My older sister didn't want to go on the swinging boat ride, so me and her boyfriend went together and sat right at the back. Big mistake. As soon as I'd come to learn that the forces are much stronger in that part. All started off normal for about 10 seconds, but I started to notice as the ride went backwards, each time I'd feel a huge amount of force down there, and it felt very, very good. By about the third or fourth, it did it. I was shaking and getting close. This is so nuts. Also, aren't we talking about gravity here? G-force, G-spot. That's probably not has anything to do with it, but it's an interesting, connection. So I think my sister's boyfriend could tell something was up and must have thought I was scared, freaking out, so he grabbed my hand to hold it. This was another big mistake, as the human touch didn't help with what was going on, and as we neared the top, I had the most intense orgasm of my life and couldn't help but scream. The ride ended and we got off. My sister asked if we enjoyed it. Someone had a better time than others, I think. It is interesting to think about what are the chances that this happens to anyone, you know? Think about what's actually happening here. You're holding your sister's boyfriend's hand and orgasming on a moving pirate ship. So just you and like Jack Sparrow probably have that in common. Don't ever tell your sister that, ever. I accidentally got engaged and married. Definitely not something you do by accident, okay? Also, engaged and married by accident sounds like just you either regret it or you're an idiot. I don't know what's going on. I'd been dating my girlfriend for about 4 years when I took her out for dinner on Valentine's Day one year. I had purchased a nice piece of jewelry that I wanted to give her to show how thoughtful I was. I love that, by the way. Like the selfishness in that. Not I want to get her something nice because she deserves it and I want to get her something nice. It's like I want to get her something so she thinks I'm thoughtful. Like this guy already is off to a hot start. It was a ring from an antique store that cost $500. We sat down to dinner and I handed her the little gift bag with the ring in it without saying anything. She opened it and exclaimed, "Oh my God, yes." Before I knew what was happening, the waiter was bringing us complimentary champagne and the whole restaurant was applauding. She called her mother from the table and apparently I was engaged. That's actually really funny. Like, I can see that happening. Also, say something. Say something. Like, you don't just hand over a ring at a restaurant and just say nothing. Like, you got to say, like, happy birthday at least. I didn't say anything because I was a bit shell-shocked and couldn't wrap my head around what had just happened. After a couple of weeks, I figured I would just roll with it. An engagement. Fuck it. I'll roll with it. Let's see what happens. And we got married several months later. Now, this is your problem, okay? How about talking to a person? Also, who the fuck gets married several months after they get engaged? I mean, maybe not here in New York. You get engaged. It's fucking at least 18 months before you can get a venue. For 15 years, my wife would complain to her friends. 15 years? This worked out? For 15 years, my wife would complain to her friends how I didn't say a word when I proposed, and I would always joke that no words can capture the depth of love that I have for you, and that my silence was the most poetic proposal of all time. This dude might be Dexter Morgan, like a fucking full murderer psychopath. I planned on taking the secret to my grave because I thought it would break her heart. In a moment of honesty a few months ago, oh, you idiot, I decided to let her in on what happened. She was a bit miffed. Definitely not a word I'm familiar with. What the fuck does that mean? But I think it's such a great story and it all worked out perfect anyway. We've been married for 15 plus years and it was the best mistake I ever made. Aw. Looking back, it was definitely an engagement ring that I had purchased, even though I would have never given such a small diamond during a proposal. This is like a Curb episode, kind of. You know what I mean? Like you accidentally get engaged and he's like, you can't say anything now. I would have probably not been able to hold on to that secret for too long. You know, to avoid this whole thing, I would have been like, look, I want to get engaged, but that wasn't supposed to happen. But also the, oh my God, yes, I'd be like, oh no. Like immediately I would probably have a reaction. Like, I'm not going to let you get engaged in a fucking restaurant. I'll take the free champagne though. Think about how genius this is. After you actually get engaged with your wife, give me the ring. We're getting engaged tonight at the restaurant. Free champagne, free dessert. Come on. Applause? Applause? In public? Applause? We'll see how good you get. And then after you do that like 10 times, by the 11th time, your wife's really good at crying. Like now it's like a whole thing and you got a backstory. It's pretty good. Accidentally tricked my neighbor into thinking I was depressed for free food. I don't even know what that even means. I have this fetish for people crying. Lock them up. Go to jail. I've been delving more into that side of myself, trying to see what gets me off. That all culminated in me just watching videos of people crying and wanking off to that. Solitary confinement. Just put them by themselves. Straitjacket even. Don't let them wank. All right. Since I live alone in my apartment and worked at home, I use the TV in my living room. Jerking off in your living room is such an insane move. Unfortunately, I underestimated how thin the walls were. I was about to head out to go get some coffee with friends, but saw that someone had left a basket of snacks and chocolate on my door. I thought nothing of it, but over the next few weeks, there were more and more baskets appearing. One day, I walked outside and my neighbor, a nice older woman, was leaving a basket. She told me she hears me crying a lot and has her own battles with depressions. Oh my God. And that she hopes the baskets of food help make me feel better. I don't know how to tell her, and I do love the baskets, so do I just keep playing the crying videos? Is that wrong? What should I do? You have two options here. The first option, very easy. Turn down the volume, headphones, something. You're fucking old. Old people don't have good hearing. And there's a whole wall in between you guys, and she can hear you fucking crying. Okay? Turn it down, dude. Fuck. Or two, get in her face and tell her, I love when people cry and I jerk off to it. Because you know what's going to happen? She's going to be devastated, and she'll start crying right in front of you. And then you'll be able to use that memory forever. And you could probably you could have a crazier orgasm when you consider the fact that after you tell someone that, and then they hear people crying, they're going to know you're jerking off, so that's going to probably upset them. This is exactly what you want. You got two options. Both are good. All right? That's the options you have. I made up a fake group of LGBTQ plus travelers so I could book a sold-out cruise. I'm gay myself. Recently, myself and my friend wanted to go on a cruise, but the voyage was sold out. Who's driving the boat, Magellan? The fuck are you talking about? The voyage was sold out. Take it easy, Columbus. I was checking every day if there was cancellations, but could never get an available cabin. So I went and made a fake Facebook account as a super conservative woman, joined the cruise's Facebook page, and wrote a post that I heard that this was a gay cruise, and there was a large group of traveling gays that would make up most of the guest list. I knew that there would be at least some upset people about this, and it might cause them to cancel or delay their vacation to another sailing. Sure as hell, the next morning I woke up and there was a cabin available to book. I still kind of feel guilty to this day, but we had a fantastic cruise. Nah, bro, this is fire. I think that this is just a good strat, to be honest with you. I think that companies pay top dollar for this kind of strategy. Insanely smart. And, if you're gay yourself, you know that there are people out there that hate gay people. So why not use that to your advantage, dude? Want to go on a cruise? Let's find out who's fucking homophobic on this cruise. Kick them the fuck off and I'll get in there and gay it up. You know what I mean? It's just a good idea. You should be more worried about how smart you could be. You don't know what you're actually capable of if you could come up with something like that. I don't think that you should be ashamed of that. That one you should be fucking proud of. The biggest mistake that you have made during this entire thing is not turning this into an actual full company. That you're going to lie to get people to cancel their things, being like, oh, it's just, it's all just like gays. And people are like, what? Ew! And they leave and you're like, gay people? There you go. I make a ridiculous salary, work from home, and do nearly no work. Did I write this? I've worked from home since March 2020. I'm not bragging because I feel like the house of cards will tumble down at some point. I make well over 6 figures a year for a very large company. None of the departments really communicate with each other, and each department thinks I'm slammed with work from all the others. In reality, I sit in and listen on some meetings, roughly 4 or 5 hours per week. I've gotten promotions and accolades, and I'm well recognized at the company, but nobody knows I'm barely doing anything. During the day, I play games, build things, do my yard work, even run errands. As long as I'm available on the company's communication app, it looks like I'm sitting at my desk working. It's like nobody cares. I wonder how many other people are doing what I'm doing. I'm not kidding. I'm being serious when I say this. I could name 6 right now that are doing the same exact thing, 2 of which are in my group chat. I know for a fact, I was recently with a friend, and because I was like, what do you even do? And he's trying to explain it. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he goes, that's all I have. That's all I know is that part, because that's what I say to people. And that's it. Here's what I'll say. I don't think anyone should feel guilty because whether you're in the office or at home, you're still doing only this amount of work. You have to do enough work to keep your job, and that's about it. The reason why no one even knows you're not doing anything is because the people above you aren't doing shit either. Okay? They're not checking in because they're like, I'm not doing that part of my job. Fuck that. I'd rather do only the important things that are going to keep my position right here. And the pandemic kind of shook everything up because companies are like, well, we can save a lot of money if we don't have to pay for an office and we're still getting shit done. Let's just go with that. It's efficiency. Okay, let's keep the people happy. Let them go out there, do their yard work and do whatever and pop on and maybe, do a little something and that's it. Every company seems to have overhired, but it's fine. The world's going around. Well, that is all for this video. A little bit of a mess there, but it's all good. Hope you guys have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.